Hi, welcome to Master Wealth. In today's video, we'll learn how to save money seamlessly in 2024. Try to picture what your financial life would look like in another 2 decades. Think about the many times you have tried to save and not entirely succeeded because you haven't figured out how much of your income you should save. In your early to mid-20s, you should aim for a minimum of $5,000 yearly savings. If you are more ambitious, you can aim for savings of $10,000 per year or an even higher amount. Where will these savings come from, you wonder? As we will see in this video, they come from small and large items. Big items are obvious targets, yet we do not often pay attention to small items. If we do spend on these small items every day, they can add up over time. We all find it challenging to save. First, we must understand why we spend money. To understand why this is so, to understand spending, we need to understand not just how much we spend, but also why we buy what we buy, how we buy, how often we buy, where we buy, and when we buy. So, why do we spend money? You might say just to live, but there are other reasons. Humans have some basic needs, which are typically easy to satisfy. In addition to these basic needs, we have many different wants and desires. While basic needs, including shelter, food, health, and clothing, can be met with a small amount of money, higher needs such as power, love, and respect are not easily satisfied by spending. No matter how much money we have, we can spend substantial amounts of money, yet we can still feel unloved and even worse, unlovable. Spending money will not help us acquire love, respect, self-importance, and other vital aspirations. Consider a simple and routine expenditure for many of us: the money we spend on coffee. We typically do not even think about this expense. It is just coffee, we say. So why do we buy it? How do we buy it? Where do we buy it? If our goal is to boost our alertness in the morning, we can accomplish this more cheaply and easily. For instance, we can purchase a non-branded cup for about $1. We can learn to live without coffee or make it ourselves for much less a day. It only involves a little proper planning. There is no need to pay $4 per cup at a branded coffee house. If coffee satisfies our occasional social needs to show off our branded cup while meeting with friends, this is a relatively low expense to absorb if done weekly. $4 a week will not affect our savings. However, if we consume 2 or 3 branded cups a day at $4 daily, we will spend $1,460 yearly. If we drink 2 to 3 cups daily at $10 to $12 daily, we will spend $3,600 to $4,400 a year. As we said, we should aim for a minimum of $5,000 yearly savings. Thus, a daily visit to a branded cafe could amount to 80% of the required minimum of $5,000 in annual savings. Yes, that is a full 80% of our savings goal. The main point is this: we started with a simple expense like coffee and assessed the impact of these expenses on our long-term goals. Even if we can afford an expense, it's wise to forgo it to support our long-term savings goals. Food is similar and can satisfy both basic and social needs. To compete, we can meet our basic nutritional needs by making and packing our lunches and dinners, which are relatively cheap. If we prepare our food, we can meet our basic needs for amounts in the range of $400 a month. Suppose we eat out regularly and spend $10 a meal thrice daily. That's $30. Most of us would be shocked to learn that this adds up to over $10,000 annually. Depending on how often we eat out, we can easily save thousands per year by preparing our food. While eating out comes with important experiences, the critical question is whether it affects our long-term financial goals. Assume that we spend $50 each time twice a week at upscale restaurants. This will equal an extra $5,000 annually, equaling our minimum required annual savings. If we avoid non-essential spending, we can meet our annual savings goals and ultimately achieve financial independence. The social aspect of food can be enhanced by having friends over to our home to try different dishes, including foods from different cultures. Friends can also bring their favorite dishes, further enhancing the social aspect of eating. Cooking with friends can save a lot of money and make for a delightful evening. Next, consider transportation costs. There's a wide range of choices. New luxury cars can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, while low to mid-level models can cost tens of thousands. Then there are the costs of a new model every year or two: fuel, insurance, aftermarket enhancements, and repairs. Transportation costs can quickly become significant. We can easily meet our savings requirements if we are comfortable cutting back on these expenses. A good used car can cost $10,000 or less. Bus or train tickets can be bought for a couple of hundred a month. That is a significant amount of savings. We can buy a new or reliable used car or take public transportation, depending on our budget. The annual cost of operating an average new car, including depreciation, maintenance, insurance, and fuel, is about $9,000 annually. Alternatively, we can take public transportation at a much lower cost, especially if we live or work in a city. If we cannot take public transportation, a used car can cut transportation costs by at least 50% over a new car. Any of these more economical choices can enable us to meet or even exceed our minimum annual savings goals. Next, consider housing expenses. Housing can vary considerably based on the prestige of the property, desirability of the neighborhood, location, amount of space, and degree of privacy. For example, an apartment on Park Avenue in New York City can cost tens of millions. We all want a well-finished and spacious apartment or home, but is it necessary to have a luxury home in the most prestigious location? If we are just starting our careers, we can rent a studio apartment, share multiple bedrooms with friends, or live with our parents. In many cities, the average annual cost of a single-bedroom apartment is well over $10,000. Sharing an apartment with a roommate can reduce housing costs by at least 50%, which in turn can help us meet our long-term savings goals. We also need to think carefully about big expenditures. One item that stands out is the cost of a wedding, which can be over $30,000. Many families spend much more. We are led to believe that big, elaborate weddings should be expected, even for middle-class families. Once again, it is important to understand why we spend. If the point of the wedding is to celebrate our special moment with friends and family, we can find a way to do so within our budget. If we want to spend beyond this, we must realize that this decision can permanently impact our savings and financial health. Suppose we avoided an elaborate reception costing $30,000. If we were to invest that same $30,000 in the stock market and earn as little as 6% per year, we would have over $300,000 in our retirement account in 40 years. At 10% annual earnings, $30,000 today amounts to $1.4 million in retirement benefits that we would have in 40 years. This cost saving alone can help us save at least half of what we need for a comfortable retirement. Even for those of us just starting in our careers, simple lifestyle choices can help save us well over $20,000 to $25,000 a year. This is sufficient to meet and exceed our savings requirements. These savings can directly go into an emergency fund, a house down payment, and retirement plans. It's wise to deal with the short inconveniences today in return for much more significant benefits in the future. Remember, we need to earn, save, and invest before spending, and financial freedom starts with an adaptable mindset. Thanks for watching till the end. You can support our work by liking the video and subscribing if you're new. That said, have a great year ahead. See you in the next video. Cheers!